Welcome back to Checkmate with Blake. The truth about chess endgames is that most people fail to study them correctly, and many people overcomplicate things. So in this video, I'm going to give you guys 5 simple endgame techniques that you can use to win more games. Now, you may understand some of these techniques, like the one we have on the board. If you're an intermediate player, you may understand how to solve this position, but I guarantee that you will not understand how to solve all 5 of these that I'm going to show you today. Furthermore, the last one I'm going to show you guys will be a challenge for you all. The last lesson, the fifth one, is actually an in-game challenge, and you will only be able to solve it if you pay attention to this video. So I'm going to give you guys a test. Since you're here to try and learn and try to improve in your chess, in games, try to pay attention throughout this video. And if you do, you will be able to solve the last lesson. So stick with me until we get to the end. Again, this is 5 simple in-game techniques. If you do enjoy this video, please consider giving a like and maybe subscribing to the channel. I'd love to have you guys. Also, if you're interested in private chess coaching, I do one-on-one chess coaching. I'll attach a Calendly link to the description and probably to the comments as well. We'll go ahead and get started. Now, this video will be very short and very simple. If anything is not simple and you don't understand it, please leave a comment and I will respond to your comments. We'll go ahead and get started. Now this one, the first lesson I have here, this is actually a draw. And many of you may be confused by it. If you're a beginner, you may say, well, they have a pawn and they're going to try and promote. But I'm going to show you guys a very simple way to understand this position so that you do not lose this position anymore. So the first lesson that you should do, now many players understand opposition and they may think, okay, I'm going to go here and take opposition. But that is actually incorrect. In this position, when the pawn is on the 3rd rank here and your king is in front of the pawn, all you have to do to save this position is keep on the same file as this pawn. And when they go forward to try and push their king forward and, maybe create space, obviously if you went somewhere else, they would go here and they would push the pawn and promote. All you have to do in this position, though, is now take the opposition. And when they go back because they have no better move, you then play this move here. You go forward. Now you have the same idea. What did we just do? When they go over here, now you just stay on the same file as the pawn. When they go forward, you take opposition. And now you will see if they try to push their game, try to go here to try and make a queen, now you play this move, and this is a draw. Because notice what can white do in this position. If they run away, the pawn will be captured. And if they play here, notice you have no moves, and this is a draw. The second lesson is how you can win this position, a very similar position, but this is actually a win for white. And the way you win this is actually by using opposition in your favor. You do not push the pawn, otherwise you will get in a position similar to the first one where their king will be able to stop the pawn. Instead, you take opposition. You go and you oppose the king. The kings are looking at each other with only one square in between. Now when you play this move, wherever they go, you now take the other side. When they go here, you take opposition again. And the reason we're doing this is because we want to create a square after we play this move here, where now we can push our pawn and promote. Our kings are now opposing each other, but allowing this pawn to promote, which is why you go down this route. Because now you can just push the pawn here, and you will push and make a queen. And the only way you can do that is by taking opposition. And if we go back here, let's see, right here. So yeah, we take this side over here, and you may wonder, why don't we push the pawn here? But it's because opposition is so important. And by playing a move like this, when we go right here, by playing this move, again, we force them to pick a side, which allows us then to choose the opposite side and push up the board. Now, the third one, this is actually a common mistake that I find in opposition because it looks like maybe we should win this position. Our king is right here. Maybe we should win. And now you have to decide, are you going to play this move or play this move? Now, I'm going to an analysis, but I want you guys to see this. Before I show the move, try and decide which is the move to play. Now, the correct move is actually to play here. And the reason being is now when they go to the corner, and this is very important, I want to say, in this position, you have to play this very differently than kind of normal king opposition. So I want you guys to pay attention. This only applies when the king is able to play to one of these squares, A8 or H8. So what you do is you go towards their side of the board. You go towards the edge of the board. And now when they play this move, now you can push your pawn. And it's different here because now when we push again, they have to get away, right? Because the king cannot go to one of these two squares. So now the king runs away, allowing you to play this move and promoting the pawn. Now, I told you guys I was going to go to an analysis because I want to show you why it is different if you play this move. Now, notice the engine says that we are still winning, but this is a very common mistake that I do see, so I want to point this out. In this position, most likely, they are going to play this move, king h7. And you may think, as you saw the first and second lesson, well, now you're going to play here, and you're going to win the game. Of course, we are still winning, but I want you to notice why this move is actually incorrect. Because now when they go king h8, you cannot push this pawn because notice it is a draw. And the only way to win this position is actually, right here, is actually to go back and go into the same exact position that we played with, and now go king h6. That's the only way to win this game, because like I said, if you go this way, when they go in the corner, when you play this move, the king has no moves. So instead, you have to retreat back to the same position and play king h6. So in this example, when we go right here, just notice that you have to play to the corner. And if the king were likewise over here on b8, you would be playing to this corner to a6 if it was the, on the other side of the board. The fourth lesson here is about shielding the king. Now, this is very, very important too. Don't be quick to try to rush these pawns, because if you do, you will lose the game. It will be a draw. Black will get their king over here and get in the corner, and you will lose, or you actually will draw. So the best thing to do is actually shield the king. Create a shield where the king cannot go to any of these three squares. And when the king goes forward trying to get over here and stop this pawn, you shield the king again. And now if they try to go over here to catch this pawn, you will just push the pawn up the board and you will simply win this game. Now, I did say the very last lesson here, this is an in-game challenge that I have for you guys. This is a culmination of all of the things I've tried to teach you guys in this video. Now, this is actually pretty complicated, and at first glance, you may struggle to understand this. You see, of course, that they're playing here, that maybe we could just take and then try to win this pawn in-game. But as I'll show here, first let me show the correct move. So the move that you play actually is here, king b6. And the reason you're behind king b6 is because you're forcing them to take. Notice that the rook cannot move because it is pinned to the king. And if the king moves, we will take here, and they will not be able to capture back because your king protects your rook. So their only move is to force them to take here on c6. Now when you take back and they go here, you take the opposition and you win the game. Now this one is very complicated, as I said, because there's no other move you can play. If you instead move the king over here, why does this not work? Because now, for example, the best move they can play is actually king d4. So let's say they play king d4. Now if you capture, they have opposition. So you will not win this game. Notice it is perfectly even. It is actually a draw. Same goes if you try to take here, you will not be able to win this game because they will have opposition. Now when they play a move like this, their king is going to be in time to stop it. So the reason that we instead played this move here, we encourage it simply because we need the opposition ourselves. So now when they take here, now we have opposition, and when they go here, like I said, we have opposition. We're going to do the same thing I showed in some of these other lessons. We're going to push this pawn up the board and win the game. Now that'll be the end of this video. These are just 5 simple in-game techniques that are covered: save the draw, king opposition, common mistakes, shielding the king, and an in-game challenge for you guys. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I know I kept it very short. I did that on purpose. If you did enjoy it, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. I'd love to have you guys. Also, if you're interested in that private chess coaching, consider checking that out on the Calendly link. If you have any questions, you can always shoot me an email, and we can always discuss these things too. And like I said, if anything was not clear, please consider leaving a comment. I will respond to your comments. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know what you guys would like to see in future videos. Thank you all.